Hello, this is Sam.
Yes, yes, hi Sam. This is Lillian. I missed your call.
Hey, Lillian. Yes, I believe I was calling you back about the inquiry that you put in to sell your property.
Yes, 28
Let me pull it on my end.
in
Yes,
Lakeland.
Fletch. Yep. Yeah.
Seen your text. Hmm?
Okay. Is now a good time for you to chat, or I don't want to distract you from
Yeah.
work or anything
No,
like
that's
that?
fine. Yeah, I can talk now.
Okay, wonderful. Let me pull it up on my end. Give me a second. Okay, so it just looks like a single family house, right?
Yes, 3 bedroom, 1 bath,
Okay, about 1,000 square feet.
2020. Yes.
Okay. And what's going on with the property? Do you currently live there?
Yes, I'm living. I want to get out. I want to relocate to Pennsylvania. I just been struggling with my son's services. He's disabled. And
Okay,
I don't know if it's just Lakeland, but I haven't had any luck. And the only thing holding me back is the property. So I
got
need to
it.
sell it and get out of here. I did have it on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Took it down 3 weeks ago probably. I'm looking for cash sale around 230. I can negotiate the price and I can also do a mobile mortgage. I just need to get out.
Understood. What's the mortgage that you currently have?
1674.
16 or 15?
16 1674.
Got it. And do you know the rate?
4.125% FHA 30-year fixed. My payoff is 216. If I'm not mistaken, 216,847.
Okay. And that's as of September.
Yeah. It'll be no, I'm sorry. It'll be down to 26. Yeah, yeah. October 1st, it will be down to 215.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna estimate about 215 on the mortgage then.
I
Okay.
bought the house. I did my closing May 6th, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I moved in the 25th of May, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
House was renovated before I moved in.
Mm-hmm.
It has I purchased 5 foot chain link fence for the front yard
Mm-hmm.
before I moved in, and I recently, 8 months ago, I purchased a 7 foot wooden fence for the backyard because I have a disabled child, so I don't want him in the street.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shed in the yard with a washer and dryer connection with a brand new water pump. The house has a brand new roof, 2022, has a brand new AC system for the outside. About 8 months ago, they put in a brand new breaker, and I say they, the people that I bought the house from,
Do
because
you
it was
mean
kind of
do you mean
it smelled like
a new breaker
hmm?
or a new panel?
A breaker in the thing where you turn on the AC.
Oh, the disconnect. Okay.
Yeah, because it smelled like burnt every time I would turn it on and off.
Mm-hmm.
So they came out and they replaced it.
Got it.
Um, the only problem with the house is the septic tank. The land is low. Every time it rains, or we had the storm the other day, the septic tank filled with water.
Mm.
So the drain is clogged because the tank is full. I have I haven't had the money to get it unclogged, unpumped, so it's clogged. And then the flooring, ever since I moved in, I noticed some kind of like air or humidity underneath the floor. So
Buckles.
I've been, hmm?
It buckles.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Like you can't see it, but you feel it as you walk. And it's mostly in the living room and the master bedroom. So I bought out the people that work on flooring, probably like 3 different guys. I called in to check it out, and they all told me the same thing. They said it's the way the house sits. They said you can break the walls, break the floor, put a new flooring, whatever. He said it's going to continue the same thing because it's the way the house sits. I don't know. I don't feel the house lopsided, but that's what I was been told. My house is the only one that's standing off from the ground. It's high from the ground.
So it's on
Now, I don't
stilts.
know. Yeah, yeah. So, it has a really big carport. I mean, everything else is great. It has a new kitchen, granite countertops, soft cabinets. The house came, I bought it with appliances. It has stainless steel refrigerator, dishwasher, microwave, stove. I mean, it's a great house. It has a lot of potential. Those are the only things that need the repairs. Um, there is a sunroom that leads you from the kitchen, the sunroom, and then to the backyard. Um, I paid a contractor to install chandeliers through the house, to stage it.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a brand new chandelier in the dining room and in the living room. The ceiling fan that was in the living room, the guy placed it in the sunroom. So there's a ceiling fan in the sunroom with a marble tile on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I also bought and he placed plexiglass on the windows from the sunroom. Um, what else? And there's like lamps, three lamps above from the counter in the kitchen. It has a nice sized front yard with the fence, like I said, pretty spacious porch. I mean, it's a nice area. It's just, unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for me. I didn't see the house before I bought it. I didn't see it in person, but I
Mm-hmm.
like it. And like I said, I don't have money to pump out the tank. That's the main problem there, and the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And it just hasn't worked out with my son's services here. So basically, the only thing holding me back in Florida is the house. So I'm trying to sell it and trying to get a good offer so I can get out of here.
Lillian, you ever consider becoming a real estate agent?
I have.
You should.
I have.
You should. You're giving a really good pitch.
Listen, I said I saw this house 3 times already, so I have
Yeah.
learned.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like this not the first time you're talking about this property.
No, I tried to sell it since I moved here. So I work with three realtors,
I got
and
you.
I have investors calling me. So yeah, I have experience. I do receive Social Security. So yeah, I'm working on getting my license for realty and get off.
You
It's
should. You
funny you
should.
say
I
that.
think you'd
Yeah.
do really, really good.
Listen, since the time I was probably 18, I did a 4 years of telemarketing too. So I'm a
Wow.
good salesperson. Yeah, yeah.
You sure are. You sure are.
Mhm.
So what
Yeah.
was
Yeah, but
if
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm being honest.
no,
The
no,
house
I mean
isn't
you
great.
you were very honest. You told me about the septic, you told me about the flooring. I mean, I appreciate
Yeah,
you being so straightforward with me.
yeah.
Um, what was the feedback when you listed the property on the market? What was the feedback you were receiving?
Low, just low offers. And the
Got it.
problem was when I first bought the house, I bought it, I moved in May 25th, 2022. And I would say probably the beginning of 2023, I started selling it. So I got the house for 230. I bought
Mm-hmm.
it for 230 and the offers were under 200. I think one of them was 200, 160, 165,
Yeah,
180
yeah.
around there. And that's because my offers were no, no, no. The house was on the market. Now, this is actually my first time trying to sell it cash. The last three times it was realtors putting the house on the market. But the prices were high. I didn't have no equity. The house
Yeah,
was 230. And when people want things for free.
of
So the offers
course.
were low. The first realtor I think had posted it up for like 250 and the second realtor was like 260. And
Mm-hmm.
then that last one was 245 because
Yeah,
they were trying to also help me out and put money in my pocket.
of
But
course.
yeah, but it wasn't. You and I know
I'm gonna
it's
give
not
you
worth
one,
260.
yes, I'm gonna give you one tip. If you do become a realtor, which I think you will, don't ever price properties more than what they're worth because you're actually doing a
No,
disfavor for your seller.
I know that, and I'm very transparent. And I told the realtors myself, like damn well, this is not going anywhere. It's not worth it. And I know the home value and everything. My home value right now is 248.5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I have it cash for 230, and I am negotiating. So I had a month ago, I had an offer, a cash offer for 227.5. He lowered it
Right.
from 230. He offered me 227. I said, yeah, where do I sign? But he was an investor. An investor had found a buyer, so the buyer wanted to negotiate. He wanted to do 215, and I said no. So we kept on back and forth,
Yeah.
and I moved it up from 215 to 227.5, and I
Mm-hmm.
said okay. So then I don't know what happened. I guess he found another one, another property, and
So
it's
you're saying the person that you were talking to, he was an investor,
mhm.
he just had a buyer for you.
Yeah, and the
Got
buyer
it.
wanted to do from 215. He went up for 227.5. I accepted it, And then all of a sudden, I guess he found another property. He didn't want to. He had no more
The
interest
thing
in my
is
house.
that most people that say they have a buyer, they don't actually
Hmm.
have a buyer because,
Yeah, I know.
you
They
know,
want to
they're
buy
just,
time.
yes, exactly,
I
exactly.
learned that from one investor. This is actually the first time I worked and talked with an investor. And I'm so observant that I probably talked to him for 2 weeks and I already knew what he was about and how he was and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And yeah, he was buying time.
Yeah.
He didn't have a buyer. He was buying time, negotiated the price. He knew damn well that it was impossible to do 227 cash. Or we could have, but he wanted to go lower.
Yeah,
So
the
he can
thing
find
is
a
that
buyer.
I'm gonna tell you
Mhm.
right now, anybody you
Mhm.
talk to who's an actual real cash buyer, they're going
Mhm.
to want to buy this for 200 or under, no matter what
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
Now, could a retail buyer pay 230, 235? It's possible. It's gonna take
Yeah.
a long time probably though.
Yeah, of
So,
course. But they want to save up. They want it
right,
cheaper,
right, right.
especially if it's cash. So yeah, they
Yep,
want to go under 200.
yeah, yep.
I
Now
learned my
here's
lesson with the investor.
here's one thing that you kind of said that's going to be the key to solving your problem. You said that you
Mhm.
have a mortgage, it's a little bit over 4%, and you have a remaining balance of 215. I think anything under 215 you should not be considering, and anything that's a cash offer, I think you shouldn't be wasting your time on looking for those people because nobody who's a real cash buyer will pay the price that you need them to pay. So what you should focus on is finding somebody to take the mortgage over from you so you don't have to continue making payments and try to put at least something in your pocket. Now, luckily, we're not just a cash buying company.
Mhm.
And, you know, in this scenario, if we do put
Mhm.
something together, I'm not just going to tell you, hey, we can make this happen. I will send you a copy of our bank statement. That way you see we
Mhm.
actually have the money before we can even talk about anything. Because what a lot of people do nowadays is they go on the internet and they try to get properties under contract without even having the financial capability to back themselves up, right? So if I send you a copy of my bank statement, you will actually see that we have the money in the bank to make this happen in the first place before we even go under contract on anything like
I
this.
can also send you a mortgage statement if you need
That's
it.
that's what I would need. So here's
Yeah.
here's where I'm gonna be. I don't wanna. You've been very straightforward with me. I want to give
Mhm.
you the numbers and the meat and the potatoes right away, right off the get-go. If the property is in good shape, and the only thing that needs to be like if it's in rentable shape, and the only thing that needs to be fixed is the septic, um,
Mhm.
I think we're gonna be able to be at 220. So we'll put $5,000 in your pocket and then we would take the mortgage over. Now, I want to make sure you understand this is not a formal assumption. It's a mortgage takeover subject to the existing mortgage. The way it works is the mortgage has to remain in place because no investor and nobody would be able to take the mortgage over. That's an FHA mortgage because it's given out as a primary residence. Now, there's no law or no legality that doesn't allow you to keep the mortgage in place and
Mhm.
sell the house. And that is exactly how it would be structured. So in Florida, what we do is we have our sellers put the property inside of a land trust, and instead of buying the
Mhm.
property from them, we buy the beneficial interest of that land trust. That way, everybody's protected, and just in case we miss a payment or we default on the agreement, the beneficial interest of the property automatically goes back to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm aware of everything you said, and there's no way I would just do it for 5,000.
Oh, got it. Got it. Yeah, so that's
I actually have a lot of offers and people interested, and actually I'm waiting for tomorrow this guy to call me.
hmm
He does a mobile mortgage. He's offering 9,500 down, and I'm
okay.
not interested because I don't think it's enough. I have to move. Everything's expensive, and if I'm going to rent a place and it has to be a house because of my child,
hmm
we're looking, rent is expensive. We're looking at a down pay, a deposit, and the whole nine. It's not 9,000 is not enough for me, let alone five. We're talking about a property, and I'm risking myself. And I know you
Sure.
guys are risking yourself too, but I'm risking because at the end of the day, this is my responsibility, and
Yeah,
there's no way in hell I'm going to take this house back.
I
I don't
understand.
want it.
I understand.
Yeah,
That
so
makes total
yeah, this
sense.
is. unfortunately, it's not going to work out. I mean, I'm looking
And
at 10 to 12. If I'm gonna accept the down payment and give it to somebody, I'm looking at 10 to 12,000
so it has to be at 10 to
at least.
12 at least.
At least. What's 5,000 gonna do for me? I'm
So
moving. I'm
let
moving
me
to
do
another state
this.
with a
Let me do
child.
this. I have
Hmm.
so anytime we do a transaction that's outside of the norm and it's like not a regular cash transaction, I have a business partner who reviews those types of agreements for me. Let me run this by him and see if we can get to $10,000 because if we're $5,000 apart, I may be able to finagle something out of him because essentially, if we do a transaction like that, not only we bring the down payment to the closing, but there's also closing costs, land trust creation, title
Yeah.
searches, all of that will be paid by us as well. So we take all those fees on too.
Yeah,
So
I'm
the
aware
number
of
we
that
give you,
too.
yep,
Hmm.
yep. So let me chat with him.
Yeah, but
If,
it is a big risk for me, and
of course,
5,009 is not gonna cut it.
I understood.
And
So
there's a lot of expenses. I just can't go to another state, leaving
li-
my house behind. It's still in my
Lillian,
name.
you're moving from Florida to Pennsylvania, so I totally understand. You need to have first, last, security deposit, moving expenses. I'm totally with you. Let me get with
Yeah.
him. Let me see if I can get him up to 10 or maybe $12,000. I'll try for 12. If I can get there, besides that, is there something
Mhm.
else that holds you up from the sale on this?
No, that's it. I was gonna ask you. The deed would be in your name, but the mortgage will continue in mine. Is that
The
correct?
deed would actually be in the name of the land trust.
What? I'm sorry.
The deed would actually go into the name of the land trust.
It wouldn't be in my name anymore, right?
No, 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 no. It goes
Okay.
into the name of
Only
the
the
land trust,
mortgage.
only the mortgage, correct.
Okay. Yeah. That's the way it was explained to me. So I just want to make sure, because sometimes people do it differently.
Sure, sure. Now, what about the
Yeah.
time frame? What's the time frame that you're looking for?
I'm looking at the end of this month, if possible.
Okay, so about 15 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Let
was
me,
actually waiting for a court hearing, but I have requested the court to move up the date. It
uh-huh.
was for October 30th. It's a modification of child support. So it was
Yeah.
yeah, it was scheduled for October 30th, but because I was messing with the investor, I thought I was going to be out at the end of the month. So I talked to the court to move the date to sooner. I am going to call him today.
Is 15 days enough for you to move your stuff though and find a place
Hmm.
in Pennsylvania?
What stuff? My house is empty. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
The
Okay.
last time I had it on the market, I sold everything because I really thought I got desperate, and I was like, "This is it. This is, I thought this time it was
You
gonna
know
be
what? Let
sold."
me do this. Let me actually give him, I'm gonna put you on hold and just give him a call right now. And let me see
Okay.
if I can get him up to that number. If we can, I'll just write the agreement up and we can probably get it done. Let me give him a call. Give me a minute.
Alrighty.
I'm recording, Gina, right now. Hey, Lillian? Hello? Hello? Lillian?
Please leave your message for
Yeah. I'm writing a contract.
Okay. I think so. Yeah, because he's doing the form, and he's trying to fix out issues and challenges on the form, and once the form is fully working, then you can go to the next thing. How long do you think before the form is operating? Okay. So hopefully before lunch. Sure about that? You sure about that? What are those, B? Katie? Four, 3, 7, 2. I'm from the 205. You want me to look at it? You want to give me the address and me to look at it there, or you want me to look at it here? Okay. What address is that? Bro, is that land? No, it's this house. But does he own? Yeah, it's 2 acres. Missouri? How far is it from a major city? I know. The only thing I was looking at, but then when I look at, I like to go to maps.google.com and do the directions between the 2 cities to see how far away it is. Right. And like in the middle of nowhere. Oh, it doesn't just do the city once to take the rest of the way. It doesn't recognize whatever the fuck that is. Great. 140. That's not terrible. And then what is it? What year bill and all that stuff? I was gonna reach out to her, but I didn't know how much to really put on them because when I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is in the middle of nowhere. There's no information on it. It says Laura Welker, not listed, house needs repairs, Matthew Sullivan, 14 days. Thinks it's worth 230, will take 150. This is it right here? Yeah. Can I see home details? He wants 150, you said? She says she wants 150. Obviously, it's well accepted international name. Metal roof. Concrete foundation. But if they had it listed.
Dude, I had so many messages in spam.
It's hard to say. It's hard to. And you might be able to. I'm just looking at the Zillow maps. Can you give me the address of the city so I can fix my issues? I'm recording. Actually, no, like I wasn't gonna spend a ton of time on.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
but now my question is, if I gotta make my payment on October 1st,
Mm-hmm.
my mortgage, that's why I was looking for 12. If I had to pay my mortgage on the 1st,
I don't know if
I
that's
would pay 10 if it came to the end of the month. But if I have to pay the 1st,
yeah, I don't think that's necessarily gonna be needed because if we're gonna be closing on the 15th of October, then you have until you don't have to, meaning you don't have to make the
oh, I
October
have till
payment.
the 15th. Yeah.
Exactly,
Okay.
because there's no late payment or any kind of penalty for that.
I have till the 15th, or else it'll be late payment.
Right, right. Every
So
mortgage is set up
do
that
the
way.
will you do the transfer with the bank?
Correct. So the way we're gonna do it is once we close on the transaction, we're gonna
Mhm.
hire what's called a servicing company, and then we make all
Okay.
the payments to that servicing company. That's something that we pay for too. We make all the
Mhm.
payments to that servicing company, and the servicing company basically will be making the payments on our behalf. We just put our
Mhm.
card on auto pay with them, and then
Mhm.
they start making payments to the bank. And every time they make a payment, we, you, and the bank all get a notification that, hey, this month payment has been made. And then the payment for October, basically you don't have to make it because we'll be taking over the property in October. So
Mhm.
we'll just take the responsibility for that payment. So the full 10,000 will go in your pocket, and it will reflect. If I write the agreement, I'm gonna write there that the full
Mhm.
$10,000 is cash in your pocket at closing.
Got it.
That
And
makes
you said the
sense?
deed will be, and yeah, the deed will be in your company's name, but the mortgage will continue in mine.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
So just to make it super technical and correct, though, the deed gets transferred from your name into the land
Mhm.
trust, and then the
Yeah.
land trust has a beneficial component. So the beneficiary of the land trust initially is you, so the land trust gets created under you, and then at
Mhm.
closing of escrow, when you get paid, the land trust's beneficial ownership gets transferred from your name over to our LLC.
Now, is there a title company in this or something to make sure that nothing goes wrong?
We have to use a title company. If anybody
Okay.
does this outside of a title company, they're scamming you because
Yeah.
this has to be done through attorneys. This has to be involving third parties who are independent, and all of this has to be recorded with the county. Otherwise, it's not a real transaction. Like I can't come to
Gotcha.
your house, give you ten
Yeah,
thousand
'cause no,
dollars in
the same way I
cash.
want you. Yeah, the same way I want to be safe, I want you to be safe too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have two more questions. One is,
Yeah.
I have an email is that a good email for
Yes.
me to use?
Yes, that's my email.
Okay. And the property itself, is it under your personal name?
Yes, only me.
Okay, Lillian
Lilian
Ortiz.
Ortiz Laviana.
Okay. Would you be able to text me while I'm writing the
Mhm.
agreement up? Would you be able to text me a copy of the most recent mortgage statement? It should have your
Sure.
name, so I'll just copy your name from there and plug it into the agreement.
The one I was reading to you now is from August.
Yes, whatever the most recent one is. So if you have
Okay.
September,
Yeah.
send September.
Yeah. I can open up. I can get it to Rocket Mortgage and get last month.
Okay. If you can just text that to me, and meantime, I'm gonna be writing the agreement up. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good. You
All
need to
right.
call me back. Give me 30 minutes because I gotta go to the laundry.
Sure, that's fine.
I gotta
No,
finish the laundry. I can pick up my son real quick.
no worries, no worries. Take
All
your
right.
time.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you helping
Of
me
course.
out.
You got it, Lillian.
Oh,
And
and
then
another question.
go ahead.
You think I'll be okay renting, doing this process, renting, or in the long run, and then like in the near future, buy a house?
So that's actually a great question. I'm glad you're asking that. So here's how it's going to work. When we make payments on your behalf for the first 6 to 12 months, it's going to be a little difficult to qualify for another loan. Not impossible, but just a little more challenging for the first
Mm-hmm.
6 to 12 months. Now, why is it 6 to 12 months? When you go to apply for another loan, the criteria that the other lenders are looking for is how much debt
Mm-hmm.
do you have against the income that you have, right?
Yeah.
So if you qualify with if you get a higher income and you can qualify with that income to be able to pay for two mortgages, obviously there's no problem for you buying another house. However,
Okay.
if let's say your income stays the same,
Stay
right?
tuned.
And then there's
Yeah.
this mortgage under you, what's going to happen is if you can prove that for 6 to 12 months someone else was making payments on your behalf, which is exactly why we hired the servicing company, because that's
Uh-huh.
a record of every single transaction and it's a record from an independent company. So
Mm-hmm.
if you can take that record and take it to the next lender that you're buying a house with and show them that, hey, this mortgage has been in my name. However, I'm not the one making payments. Here's the land trust
You get
paperwork that
$10.
shows I'm not the owner anymore. And here's
Okay.
proof that these people have been
Got a
making
transfer. I'm
payments
sorry.
for 6 to 12 months. Did you hear that?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So if you show that proof that these people have been making payments for 6 to 12 months, that mortgage is considered seasoned. That's what they call it. And whenever
Can
you
I
have
get a letter? Can I get a reference letter?
absolutely. So you get a reference
Okay.
letter and then you get it all from a servicing company. So it's an actual certificate that shows all those payments. Now,
Mhm.
when you show that statement to the next lender, they're going to take that
Mhm.
into account and they're going to say, okay, her mortgage is $1,674, but she has now somebody else paying that $1,674. So the two are
Mhm.
going to cancel out. So it's going to be as if that mortgage basically doesn't exist.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Because my goal is to rent a house for
Mm-hmm.
probably a year or two.
Yep.
I'm gonna pay off a credit card that I have in my credit, so my credit can go up.
Yeah.
And within a year or two, well, probably let's say 2 years. 2 years, I'm gonna buy a house.
Yeah. In 2 years, you'd be in perfect shape because that servicing company will have all those records.
Okay, perfect. Because I can't stay running for too long with my kid.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. I don't want to tell you because a lot of people will come and tell you, oh, yeah, you're not going to have an issue. But I want to make sure I clarify it. First 12
Mhm.
months, it's going to be difficult. So if you want to buy a house in the next 12 months, it might not be the best. But if
No,
you
no,
can
no,
hold on for
no.
a year, that's perfectly fine then.
Yeah, not in 12 months. But I won't have a problem renting a house.
No, no, no. This doesn't affect you renting a house at all. Because renting a house
Okay.
is just based, they're not even going to see that you have a mortgage in your name. They just run your background and your credit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to get there, and then they say no. I have nowhere to go.
You, I mean, it'll be super simple because essentially what we can do is once you find an apartment over there, I can even help you with the application process, provide a reference, whatever you need from my end.
Okay.
And I'll even, like, if I have to talk to the landlord, I can totally do
Yeah.
that for you too.
No, it's to rent a house. I can't get an apartment because my he's autistic. You know, he jumps and he climbs and he screams.
Got it.
So it's
Got
gotta
it.
be a house.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, perfect. Well, this is such a relief. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Well, let's get everything signed and then I think the relief will be then. So let me give you a call and
All right.
I actually am pretty much done with the agreement. I can probably send it to you in the next 20 minutes once I have that mortgage statement.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna email it. Oh, you wanted to text it to you?
Just text me a picture of it. That's all I need.
Okay, I'll do that now.
Perfect. Thank you, Lillian.
And what company are you with again?
It's called Simple Cell. I will include all of that inside of the agreement.
Okay. All right,
Yep.
sounds perfect. Thank you again.
You
I'll
got it.
send
Talk
it
to
to
you
you
soon.
home.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I just sent that over. See if you can pull it
Mhm.
up on your end. And it should have come from, does it say
Yes.
something like view document in there?
The what documents?
Does it have a
Yeah.
button that says view document or view agreement? So click on
Mhm.
that and then let me know once you're on the first page so we can start going through this.
Okay. Purchase contract and escrow instructions.
Perfect. All right. So the first, I'm gonna go clause by clause. Please feel free to
Mhm.
stop me at any time. Make sure you ask as many questions as you possibly can. I'll clarify everything for you, but we'll go clause by clause, to make sure you're comfortable with every single thing in here. Okay?
Okay. I have a
So,
question before I forget.
yes,
You said we could close by October 15th or before, right? Or sooner?
correct.
Now, I have a situation. I don't know if you can help me. Would it be possible after closing I could stay in the house for 2 weeks until I find a place in Pennsylvania?
2 weeks
Because I
after
don't have,
closing.
yeah, because I don't have nowhere to go. I still have this court hearing coming up. I don't know what date they're going to give me. And
Okay.
you know, if I want to rent a house, I have to put a deposit and rent. And you know, they
Yes.
take what, 2 weeks or something like that?
So here's how we typically do it.
Hmm.
I'm gonna, I have to get an approval from my partner on that, but I'm gonna chat with
Hmm.
him about it.
Yeah.
So typically when you rent an apartment, essentially
Hmm.
you fill out an application with them and then you give them the money on the day or a day before the move-in actually happens. So what I would want to do is I would want you to start looking I mean, I'm sorry, apartment, a
I
house.
have. I looked, but they need application money. I don't have it, and
Yep.
I don't have money for the deposit or rent.
So the application money itself, how much is that? Like 30,
Some of them are
$40?
35, others are 50, others are 40. Okay.
Okay. I will see if I can cover that for you on my end for the application.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I
Um,
don't have money for the application till the third, actually, that I get paid, the Social Security, on the
right.
third, and then I don't have money for the deposit or rent.
Right. And as far as the deposit and rent goes, they typically shouldn't collect that until you actually move in, because I actually wouldn't allow you to pay them anything
On
until
money.
yeah, until you actually have a
Yeah.
lease and you go to
Okay.
see the place. I don't think that's a good idea. Now, as far as
Okay.
staying in, um,
Hmm.
let's do this. Let's get the contract going so that the clock can start ticking. And
Yeah.
then I'm gonna work with you. We'll try to be as flexible as we possibly can, especially, considering everything that you're going through, the move and everything else.
Well, I really appreciate it. Yeah. Because I
Yes,
got my hands tied.
we'll try to be as flexible as possible with that. I don't want to give you any promises right now,
Yeah.
but I do, there has been instances in the past where we took care of someone's application fee or, help them find
Okay.
movers. That's why our company's called Simple Cell, because we simplify the whole process for you.
That'd be great.
Okay. All right. So let's go through the agreement real quick. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So the very first clause is just the basic terms. It's just going to outline some parties, addresses, and stuff like that. So you'll see 1.1. It says property address. Legal description. We never fill that out. APN and legal description. We let the title agent or the closing agent to provide that. So that'll
Uh
be
huh.
filled in at closing. 1.4, that's just saying that the property is sold with all improvements, fixtures, and everything that's attached to the property. 1.5 is the purchase price. So I want you to pay a little bit of attention here. So we have a purchase price of 225. You're going to see that underneath it says that the purchase price is approximate. You see that?
Yeah. 215.
Okay. Um, so the reason it says approximate as the purchase price is because your mortgage is going to be varying. So it might be 215, it might be 216, it might be 214. That's why we never put the exact purchase price. However, you will see the earnest money deposit as well as cash at closing of escrow are going to
Mhm.
be exact. Oh, did I check approximate in here? Okay, it has to be exact. So I'll change it and resend it to you. Um, so you'll see where it says, so you have an earnest money deposit of $1,000 that conveys at closing as a credit to you, and then you have an approximate mortgage of 215, and then
Mhm.
$9,000 says cash at closing. That one, I seems like I checked off approximate. It should say exact. So I'm gonna change that and resend it, but we'll go through the agreement to make sure there's nothing else. Okay?
But I thought it was 10,000.
It is. So it's 9,000 plus $1,000 of a deposit.
Oh, I get them separate.
So the deposit goes in immediately. So once we sign an agreement, we wire the deposit. And then we have a
Okay.
remainder of another 9,000 that we wire at closing. So that gets you the full 10.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right. So basically all these numbers that we have in here, 9 plus 215 plus 1, has to equal to the purchase price of 225. And then the two things that are exact, so you'll see earnest money deposit is cash, and then cash at closing is also going to say exact. So I'm going to check that box and resend it to you. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's go through this. Let's continue. Close of escrow. So it says 30 days after buyer gains access. So as soon as we have an agreement and we're ready to access the property, it's 30 days. Typically, we close sooner if the title work and stuff like that is ready sooner. So we might be able to close actually beginning of October. But essentially, this is what gets the clock ticking. Okay?
Okay.
We then have escrow agent. So I usually put in here title company of buyer's choice. We typically use sometimes we use other title companies depending on how busy they are. But this is why we
Mhm.
leave it open-ended so that if we have to make that change, we can just make that change without having to get approvals from title companies. So
Okay.
we're most likely though going to go with that, okay?
Okay.
The next one is parties. So I put your full name in there, make sure I didn't make any mistakes. As
Yeah,
the
it's good.
seller. Okay. Buyer is Simple Cell LLC. Inspection period. So inspection period is just for us to be able to gain access to the property. I'm most likely going to do a septic inspection just so we can get an estimate on how much it's going to cost us to, if we have to replace a drain field or if we have to replace the septic, or
Okay.
we can just fix it. So that one,
I'm pretty sure it just needs to be pumped. I
yeah,
had several people check it out, and they said it needs to be pumped and it's full
okay.
of water.
Okay, so that's what, and for us to inspect it, we actually have to pump it
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. Okay, so the next one is specific closing costs. This one is important. So you see it says buyer shall pay all escrow and closing fees, meaning
Mhm.
we are paying for everything. So
Yeah.
nothing is coming out of your pocket. The next one is, we can go to the next page. So there's no personal property that we're taking. The next one is addendums and acknowledgements.
Okay.
So you'll see there's going to be a subject to addendum that's going to be on the bottom of the agreement. Seller carryback doesn't apply here because it's not a seller finance, it's subject to. 1.14, additional terms and conditions. So it says the property will be transferred subject to the following liens and encumbrances. And then I listed in here, first mortgage of approximately $215,000. The reason we list it here is because this is basically saying that we are okay to take title subject to this existing mortgage and it won't be paid off. So, anytime you transfer title, you have to either pay these off or the buyer has to acknowledge and approve that they're taking it over subject to. So in the agreement, we are agreeing that we're going to take it over subject to. Okay.
Okay.
Number 1.5 is just saying occupancy, that there are no other parties in occupancy of the property. You don't have any renters or you're not leasing it out. The seller is the only person in occupancy of the property, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So that's for number 1.15. Let's go to number 2 now.
Now I'm gonna go back to the first mortgage of 215. What if is that including October? Because I believe after my October's payment, yeah, I'm left with 215 and some change. What would happen if it was different?
Sure. So this is exactly why you see the word that says approximately in there. You see
Gotcha.
that?
Okay.
And
Mhm.
here's what I'll do for you, because I have to resend you the agreement so that it says exact in there. I will also
Mhm.
write in the agreement that buyer to be responsible for October of 2024 payment. Is that fine?
Yeah. Thank
Perfect.
you.
To be responsible for payments starting October of 2024. Okay, there you go. So when I resend it, I'll point out where exactly I wrote that in. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
All right. So let's go to number 2 now. This is just basically outline the purchase and sale now. So it's saying that for the purchase price and in accordance with the terms and conditions set forth in this contract, seller agrees to sell and buyer agrees to buy the property identified in section 1.4, which was the address. Personal property to be conveyed as part of the property includes, but is not limited to. And then it just outlines every single thing like lights, appliances, ceiling fans, remote controls, central
Mm.
vacuums if they exist. So just so you know, the reason we have it so detailed in here is because anything that's attached to the property conveys with the property, because there have been instances where we bought properties, and you have to be careful with this too when you become a real estate agent. There are
Mhm.
sellers that think that they can just start taking ceiling fans down and kitchen cabinets down because
Oh
they
yeah.
think it's
Oh, that's a
furniture.
no.
Okay, so so that's why it
No, even the
specifies
one
it.
I purchased and put, I can't even take that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why it's always specified that everything that's attached to the walls conveys with the house. Okay?
Mhm.
All
Yep.
right. The next one is purchase price and method of payment. So that was outlined in section 1.5. We then have status of title. So this is saying as soon as practical following the effective date is the day we signed the agreement, escrow agent shall cause to be issued and delivered to buyer a current commitment for an Alta residential owner's policy of a title insurance and copies of all documents referenced as exceptions therein, together with the title
Yes.
report and title documents. So this is basically them giving us title insurance. Again, we're paying for this. And it's saying as soon as practical following. So the reason we put this language is because we want them to move off of their assets and do work quickly. Okay?
Mhm.
Buyer's
Yeah,
review of
can you email me copies of all that?
Of course. I mean, when we get documents, everything we get from the title, you're
Mhm.
going to be copied on that. So all those
Okay.
title reports, title searches, you're going to get copies of all of that. Okay. The
Yeah.
next one is buyer's review of title. So buyer has 10 days from receipt of title documents to review them. 4.3 seller spouse. If the seller is married, spouse will execute within 3 days of effective date. Um, if not, nothing needs to be done. Disclosures. So these are just some formal disclosures. Lead-based paint. If the house was built before 1978, we acknowledge that there might be a risk of lead-based paint, and we're okay with that.
Mhm.
5.2 is changes to the property prior to closing of escrow. So this is simply stating that there's going to be no material changes that will happen, like the roof is
Mhm.
not going to blow off, and the house is still going to be standing when we go to buy it, right? And I
Yeah.
have had instances where it was only one time, but essentially we were buying this one house, and we went to do a final walkthrough, and the house wasn't on the land. And
Oh
what
my
happened
God.
was, yeah, the city took the whole house down because it condemned the house. And then they took the whole house down and we couldn't close on that transaction. So that's why we always
Wow.
specify that no big material changes are going to happen. Okay?
No, yeah, no, my roof is not gonna fall off.
Very good. Very good. So the next one and the last disclosure is the agency disclosure. So as I told you, we're active licensed agents, but in this transaction, we're just acting as a buyer. So anytime you buy a piece of real estate and you're licensed, you have to disclose that you are. But again, you're not paying us any commissions or fees or anything like that. We're just acting as a buyer in this transaction. Okay?
Okay.
6.1 is just saying that inspections. So inspections are going to be conducted at the sole cost of the buyer. So any inspections, investigations, tests, reviews, and all reports deemed necessary by the buyer are going to be the responsibility of the buyer, meaning you're not paying for any of those inspections. Whatever we conduct is totally on us. All right?
Yeah.
Next one is buyer's continued access to the property. So it's saying from effective date through closing of escrow, seller shall grant access to the property to buyer and will make property reasonably available to buyer. So just so you know what reasonably available means, it like we'll always give you a 24 to 48 hour notice. And
Okay.
when we come in, we're not going to stay at your house for hours. We might just come in, 10, 15 minutes, take our photos, do our inspections, and then we'll be out of your hair. Okay?
Okay.
6.3 is utilities. So it's just saying throughout the agreement, you're going to keep utilities under your name. You're not going to turn the lights off on us until we actually buy the place.
Mhm.
Number 7, nothing really applies to you. This is all just instructions for the title company to provide affidavits, prorations, closing deliverables. So all of that really just relates to the title company. The seller's closing deliveries on 7.3, all of that is also going to be done by title company. So the title conveyance, the execution, all the documents, all of that will be done by the title company. Okay?
All right. Mhm.
7.4 is tax prorations. So because you have a mortgage, you technically are already paying your taxes as part of your
Mhm.
mortgage. So there's really no tax prorations that would need to be done because you've
Okay.
already, as long as you've made your payments, you're already caught up, right?
Okay. Yes.
You then have specific closing costs. So it says seller shall pay specific closing costs applicable to seller as set forth in section 1.11. But if you go in section 1.11, it says that buyer pays all closing costs. Okay?
Yeah.
7.6, it just says buyer's right to proceed without escrow agent. This really isn't going to apply, but it's just in there because the title companies require that.
Mhm.
Sometimes when we have to close on a transaction sooner, there's like an auction or a foreclosure. We put that clause in there so that we can basically beat those deadlines if it ever happens. And then in bold letters, this is a disclosures that the title companies make us put in here. So because we're paying all the closing fees, they want
Mhm.
language in the contract that basically states that the law firm represents the buyer only and does not represent the seller in this transaction. But in reality, they're a third party and they're attorneys, so there's nothing wrong that they can do. But they make us put this disclosure in the agreement.
Gotcha.
Then it's representations and warranties. So let's go to 8.11. It says seller has full right, power, and authority to sell the property. To seller's knowledge, as except as disclosed in title documents, there are no leases. So there's no renters that we have to worry about.
No.
8.13 is the liens and encumbrances listed in section 1.14 are the only liens and encumbrances, and that's really just a mortgage. So there's no mechanic liens on the house, for example. Like there's no contractor that you hired, didn't pay
No.
them, and now they have a lien on your house. So there's nothing like
No.
that.
Nothing like that.
Okay.
I
8
didn't even
point.
want roommates.
Yeah.
Nobody, nothing. I had so
Good.
many people telling me, you can rent your room. I said, hell no.
Yeah. No. It's
That,
funny you
that's a
say that
headache.
because
You try to help them.
we have some houses that are bigger properties, like
Hmm.
4 or 5,000 square foot homes that we
Hmm.
rent by the bedroom.
Yeah, no, you can't trust
That's
nobody.
one of our but obviously when you're a homeowner, it's such a like I can feel the pain that you wouldn't want anybody else living with you in your house.
No.
So
Maybe
that
if it
makes
would have
sense.
been a little bit more private, the sunroom would have been detached or something like
Right,
that, I would have
right,
made it a room. But having a disabled child, no. I didn't want nobody
right,
in there. And then one bathroom, too? Hell no.
right.
I thought about it because I needed the extra money, but sometimes to help somebody out or make a couple bucks, it become a big problem.
Yeah,
And then you have the
sometimes.
people come in and destroy your house. And when you ask them to leave, they don't want to leave. When I was
Right.
younger, in my 20s probably, I had a roommate, and she was horrible. She liked to bring guys, different
Wow.
guys, after the club or whatever to her room. Yeah, and I had her for like a month or so. She paid her rent up to date and stuff, but she had a bad reputation,
Right.
and I had to get rid of her. And she became my worst enemy because I asked her to leave. And I said,
Wow.
listen, I said, people are going to start looking at me the way they look at you. Hell no. And I
Wow.
was by myself, and I had nobody, I'm not, I'm sociable, but doesn't mean I have a crew. I stay by myself. I'm alone. I don't have friends. I don't have family. It's just me and my kids. I don't even get along with my son's father. So I
Wow.
moved to Florida because I had issues. I had situations in Pennsylvania with my son's father. But things are looking better now, so I can go back. But yeah, my family never been there to support me with my son. It's just been me. So
I
now I'm
mean,
to a point
from the way
where
you described everything to me, Lillian, it seems like you've had so many life experiences, and now it's basically the time for you to move to the next chapter.
tell me about it. Yeah, I think that now it's my time, and I would say God has a plan for everybody and for everything. Ever since, and I'm going to be honest, since I moved to Florida, I've been struggling. I've been suffering. I've been going through. I had pride. I had kids. I had shoved. I had to
Yeah.
borrow money from strangers because I seen myself broke. I had to. I just been through hell in Florida that I never been through in my life. I'm 44,
Yeah.
and I lived 42 years in Pennsylvania, and I've been in bad situations, but not as bad as Florida. And you could expect it from somebody that's homeless or paying a rent, but I have my own house, and it's
Right.
like, okay, my whole check is going towards mortgage, bills. I barely had money left over a couple months ago for food, and it's like, damn, my car broke down, my transmission, trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to fix my car. I didn't have the money. I had every mechanic look at it and tell me, you're looking at $4,000 to $5,000 maintenance to
Wow.
fix this car. Yeah, and I was like, come on. And I got on my knees one day and I was like, Lord help me. I said, I'm not, I'm a good person. What do you have? What plan do you have for me? And probably a week later, I went to the dealer, I applied, and I got approved for 2020 Toyota Corolla for
Wow.
80,000 miles.
Well, it seems like now you're on a path where things are starting to work out for you.
And a week after I bought my car, people start calling me to buy my house. After
Wow.
almost 3 years trying to sell it.
Well,
Yeah.
and
So
now
now
you
I'm
have a and
strong.
now you have a contract in front of you. You're about to sign to take the
Yeah.
$10,000.
And thanks to you too. Yeah. And now I feel stronger than ever, and I'm very motivated. And I know things are going to get so much better now. When I go back to Pennsylvania, I can get better service for my son. And I can do right. I always done right, but shit happens for a reason, like
Yeah,
people say. And I'm so blessed. I am.
I'm with
And I'm
you.
happy.
I'm with
Yeah.
you.
And this is not the way I wanted to do with my house because, it's my responsibility. It's my house. I didn't want to do things this way, but I guess everything happens for a reason. Now I'm
That's
ready.
true. That's true.
hmm
That's true. Well, we're almost done, so
Go ahead.
let's finish going
My
through
son had an
this.
appointment, but I'm going to have to cancel because we're going to be late anyways. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're almost done too, though. So this won't take more than 5 more minutes. So
Teacher.
let's go to 8.2. So it says buyer representations, buyer warrants that buyer has full right, power, and authority to enter into this contract as well. Defaults. So anytime there's an agreement, there has to be a default clause. It's basically
hmm
saying that if, God forbid, there is any lawsuit or anything like that, the prevailing party gets their costs paid by the party that was the losing party. Now, I want to preface that by saying that in 6 years of us doing business, not a single time we had to go to court with any sellers. And one of the main reasons for that is because we're taking the time and going through the whole agreement to make sure you're fully comfortable with everything before we can even sign anything. All right?
Thank God you brought that up because I was going to ask you. The house won't come back to me, right? Because I don't want it.
No, no, yeah, and that's the other thing that when you're dealing with a company like ours, I mean,
Mhm.
we're basically gonna, and I'll tell you up front, we're basically gonna put like a renter into the
Mhm.
property. We're probably gonna make those small improvements and the septic tank improvement, and then we're
Mhm.
just gonna keep renting it out. That's really the plan. So there's
And
no reason
now
for us to want to miss payments or give the house back to you in any way, shape, or form. Um, I mean, we're gonna just basically take care of it for you.
I will appreciate it. And I'm going to bring this up because it was brought to my attention from someone.
Sure.
There is an insurance you guys provide or a deposit so the renter doesn't destroy the place
All the
or in
time.
case it happens.
Not only insurance, so you'll see in here that we are required to carry insurance, but also
Mhm.
anytime we rent the place out, we have to have a security deposit, first and last month rent, just like you're going to apply right now for a house,
Mhm. Mhm.
security deposit, first and last month rent. Because at the end of the
Got it.
day, it becomes our house, so we don't
Yeah.
want this to be destroyed.
You want to take care of it.
Of
Yep.
course,
I
of
take
course.
care of it.
Yep, yep.
I'm very clean and I took care of that house. I'll tell you.
I saw
You're
the
going to see how
photos.
pretty it is.
I saw the photos and
You
it
saw them?
looked, yeah, 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 I looked at the pictures. It looked in really, really good and clean shape. So,
It is. I'm
yeah,
very
that
clean, and
was
I
one
wanted
of
to
the
sell it.
things, that was
Hmm?
one of the things that sold my business partner on it. I showed him the place. He saw how clean it was and he's like, "Okay, let's go up to her price and make this happen."
You have a great deal. It has a lot of potential, and it's a beautiful house. It is. And the
Agreed.
area is nice. The block where it's at, it's really quiet. It's really nice. People are nice.
Agreed.
People don't come outside because my neighbors have asked them, like, why doesn't everybody come outside? They're like, oh, it's too hot, or if it's raining.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't come outside. Yeah.
So number 10, we're almost done. So number 10 basically
hmm
saying there's no oral changes, so there's no verbal agreements, everything's here in writing.
Yes.
Number 11 is just notices. It says that notices are considered delivered within 5 days after they're received, whether it's
hmm
mail or email. And then number 12 is just miscellaneous provisions. So there's a couple of provisions that you need to be aware of.
hmm
One of them is assignments. So you'll see in there, it says buyer may assign this contract or any of its rights hereunder to any person, partnership, corporation, or other entity, and seller's consent to such assignment is not necessary. Now, the reason it's there is because we put the agreement under Simple Cell LLC. However,
hmm
the way we're going to make the purchase, like I told you, is going to be through a land trust. So the
hmm
agreement is going to be assigned to that land trust. which
Okay.
is then subsequently owned by the LLC. So
Okay.
we have to have that clause in there, so we have the ability to do that. But then it says 12.3 successors and assigns. This contract shall be binding upon and inure to the benefit of parties hereto and their respective successors and assigns. Meaning, even if it gets assigned, everything is still in place in the same exact way and manner. Okay?
Got it. Mm-hmm.
The waiver, so it says the waiver by any party hereto of any right granted to it hereunder shall not be deemed to be a waiver of any other right, meaning if anything got waived, it doesn't constitute waiver of any other rights. And then marketing. So we're gonna start marketing the property for rent. So it says seller authorizes the buyer to advertise the property as a sale or rent or purposes of raising money as a principal to this contract. That basically is for us to be able to secure a renter or somebody to lease the place from us or to be
Mm-hmm.
able to raise money because not all the time we put all of our money into property. Sometimes we have partners who are private
Mm-hmm.
money lenders who give us money for projects like this. But essentially, we just want to have the ability to do that so that, for example, that issue with the septic tank, we can start addressing them as soon as we buy the property. Okay?
Okay.
Next
Yes.
is time is of the essence. So with respect to the performance of all terms, conditions, and provisions of this contract, time is of the essence. So everybody's going to act in a timely manner. Choice
Uh-huh.
of law is just Florida. And then memorandum of contract. So you're selling the property to us. It just says that you can't sell this property to us and then 6 other people at the same time. You're selling it to
Mm-hmm.
us, so we're under contract with you.
Yes.
And then counterparts. This is saying that basically all the counterparts, so if there's any addendums or anything like that, it's all constituted in one big instrument and one big agreement. So they're all kind of going together. And then severability. If any of the provisions of this contract are found illegal or unenforceable, which we've had this reviewed by attorneys, none of them are.
Mm-hmm.
But if any provision is found unenforceable, all other provisions still remain in place. And we have the same agreement. And then the last part is just saying that this is a voluntary agreement and nobody's holding guns to our heads to sign this. So
Mm-hmm.
we're all agreeing to this out of our free will.
Yes.
Any questions besides the $10,000 that has to be changed to exact and the October's payment?
Yeah, this should have been one of my first questions, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. I'm not gonna have problems with the bank or anything like that, and this is completely legal.
Yes, that's a very good question. So I'm glad you're asking.
I don't want the hold on.
Abs-
I don't want the bank coming. Thank you. The bank coming back like, hey, what you do to the house?
Exactly. So here's 2 answers to that. So the first answer is if this wasn't legal, the title companies and attorneys wouldn't be able to do this transaction and issue title insurance on it.
Mhm.
So that's to legality of the situation. But as
Yeah.
far as the having issues with a bank, the answer is we're setting this process in a way so that you would not have any issues with a bank because this could be done incorrectly. If you're
Mhm.
unexperienced and you don't know what you're doing, this could be done incorrectly. So one of the biggest things that protects everybody in this transaction is the creation of a land trust. So there is a law called Saint Germain's Act. Okay, it was passed in the 80s, and you're welcome to go look that up. Okay,
Mhm.
it's an act that basically allows any homeowner to make an estate planning transfer, and the bank legally cannot do absolutely anything about it. Meaning,
Okay.
if you transfer the property into a land trust instead of transferring it directly to someone else, it's not even
Mhm.
considered a technical sale. It's considered an estate planning transfer. So if the bank, for whatever case, comes back and says, hey, you transferred the property, you now sold it, you then show them, hey, I didn't sell anything. Here's a land trust. It was just transferred into a land trust. And by law, they cannot pursue anything further because essentially it's an estate planning transfer and legally no bank can challenge that. And it's a federal law. It applies in all 50 states.
Gotcha.
That makes
Now
sense?
you guys makes a lot of sense. Now you guys make the mortgage so it's paid off.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Now
And
we
then
have
when
the
it's paid off,
option.
the deed goes to you. And it'll be out of my name.
Correct. Now we have the option to pay it off sooner, and most likely we will, because
Mhm.
we don't hold properties for more than 10 years typically.
Okay.
So if the interest rates, for example, come down to like 3.5%, there's no reason for me to keep this mortgage in place. I'm gonna go refinance it, or I'm gonna go sell the property.
That's
And then in order
awesome.
for me to sell the property, I have to pay the mortgage off.
Mhm. That's
That make
great.
sense?
Yeah. It's awesome.
All right, so I'm resharing the document to you. Can you close this email and open it up again? Because now I changed the cash at
Yeah.
closing to exact, and I put the October's payment in there too.
Give me a quick sec. Let me put this cart back. I was putting my clothes in the trunk.
Sure.
Ugh. And I can sit in the car and sign.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, my son had a doctor's appointment at 1:30, but I'll call him reschedule. It wasn't important. I mean, it was important, but it was a well checkup.
Got it.
It was a follow-up. Okay, I'm sitting in my car now.
Okay.
It's hot.
So you should be able to basically close this out and open the newest email that I just sent you.
Okay. Open.
So what are they gonna do with the arrears? They're gonna make him pay half of it up front. He said something about his payment's gonna be $2,000 a month from November to
Got it. Oh, you
Okay.
changed it to 225.
Say that again?
You changed it to the 1.5 to 225.
No, so I changed inside the purchase price, the
Uh-huh.
last one that says cash at closing, it was saying approximate, but it should be
Oh,
exact. So I changed
gotcha.
exact.
Okay.
And
That's
then
it.
yep, and then the other thing is I wrote if you go to 1.14, I put
Mhm.
buyer to be responsible for payments starting October of 2024. It's in 1.14.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Perfect. So go to the very first page and you see where it
Mhm.
says LO.
Yes.
Okay, click on that and it should say something like adopt and sign or adopt my signature.
It's like I'm signing my life away here. Ugh. Like when you go for a loan, it's like Jesus. Well, wish for the best. And
It's
I have a
gonna
good
be
feeling about you
it's
guys
gonna
because
be just fine.
I usually have bad feelings about people and places, but I have a good feeling.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I mean, we've done this so many times and I totally can relate how you feel right now. It's just it's just the beginning of the process, but when we're at the finish line, you'll be super happy.
I'm excited. Looking forward to. Okay, I think I'm done. It says you almost finished.
So it should
And
say something like share back with Samuel.
share. I'm done. Success.
Perfect. I got it on my end. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. You too.
All
And
right.
I'm gonna get my realtor license.
I really want to see you succeed in that. I think you have a talent.
You'll see it. When I
All
get
right.
to Pennsylvania, I'm gonna really work on my license up there. I have
Perfect.
to count for it.
Perfect.
So this is it then? I get a copy and do I wait till the closing?
You'll get a copy. I'm gonna text you a phone number of my transaction coordinator. Her name is Ariana. She's gonna
Okay.
reach out and she'll let you know if there's anything else that we need. We probably would need the September statement too.
Okay, I'll get that now.
Perfect.
And
And
I'll text it to you.
yep, and I'll text you her phone number. So save my number in your phone
Mhm.
and then also save her number. I'll send it to you right now.
I got you saved. But I
Perfect.
continue with her or am I done with you?
No, no, no. I'm still in the file. I'm not going anywhere. But she's just going to be the main point of contact because she schedules and cooperates with the title company.
Okay. I got her number.
Yes, yes. Awesome.
Okay. I'm
Well,
gonna get
that's
into my account now and I'll send you the statement.
beautiful, beautiful. Well, that's it for now, and then we'll be in touch sometime, probably tomorrow, if there's anything else missing.
How do I go about the applying?
Applying for the houses.
Yeah, for house for rent.
Let us get everything rolling. Let us get everything started with the title company. Find the
Mhm.
houses that you like, and then we can go from there. I can start because I gotta talk to the team, tell them that
Okay.
this is what we have to do on this file. Make sure we get approvals from everybody, and then Ariana will communicate that with you. Okay?
Okay. Just make sure the closing happens before the 15th, or else I'm
We're
gonna get
gonna,
some late fees.
of course, but either way, we're responsible for that. So either way, October is on us.
Okay.
But we're gonna
All
try
right.
to make
Well,
that happen soon.
all right. I
You got
appreciate
it,
it very
Lillian.
much.
You got it, Lillian. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.
How you doing?
Good, good. What's going on?
Oh, you're hard to get a hold of.
Not at all. I just stepped out of the office and I just got back in 5 minutes ago.
So there's a title that I've been trying to reach you, or they said they were waiting for your email.
I already spoke to them.
Chelsea
Yes,
title.
I spoke to them.
Oh, you just spoke with them?
Yes.
Okay. One of the agents read me the contract, and she warned me about a default, and I would be responsible for $50,000.
I don't know if
What is that
that's.
about? Because
I,
you didn't mention it.
I don't know what she's talking about exactly.
I don't know either, but she read it. I don't see it on the contract, but she read it. She said something about, she's like, you need to be careful because if there's a default, you're responsible for $50,000. I said, where the hell did you see that? I didn't
So
see 50,000 at
the
all on that
only
contract.
time, okay, so the only time there could possibly ever be any kind of default is
Mhm.
if you, after we close on the transaction, if
Mhm.
something happens and essentially you either declare bankruptcy and then the bank takes the house and gives it back to you, and then we can't get
Okay.
ownership of that house. That's
¿Cuántos
one
años?
way a default could happen, which I don't think is the case. And the only other way
Okay.
there could ever be a default is if, because the house has insurance, right?
Yeah.
So if, God forbid, something happens to the property and there is an insurance claim on the
Mhm.
property, and for some reason the insurance company, instead of paying us, they pay you,
Mhm.
we are entitled to that money because we're maintaining the property and the property is in our name. So
Yeah.
those
That
insurance
I
proceeds will go back to us.
Yeah, that I know that everything goes to you guys. I know that.
Yes.
The way she explained it to me was like, if I was to cancel now, if anything was to happen now before going through the escrow, that I would be a default for fifty
No,
thousand
that
dollars.
is not correct.
Oh, I don't know who hired her.
I
But
have
that's the way
no,
she explained it to
yeah,
me.
I
It
have
freaked
no
me out. I was
idea.
like, what?
Yeah, I don't even know who that title company is. They just contacted me and they said
Healthy
that's
title. Yeah, there's a title that was working with an investor that I was going to work with like 2 weeks ago. It was an
right,
investor. He said that he had a buyer cash, which it was a
right,
lie. He was buying time. So
right.
I think I explained to you, I'm not sure. He was buying time to
Yes.
try to find a buyer.
We
And
did talk
then,
about it, but remember
yeah.
we've gone through the whole agreement together,
Hmm. Yeah.
and I told you, so I'm telling you right now, the only instances that could result in such huge numbers ever is if there's
Hmm.
an insurance claim and then there's money that gets paid out on the property. Let's say the roof blows off, God forbid, right? And
Yeah.
something happens and we have to fix the property and we make an insurance claim and the insurance pays you instead of us,
Uh-huh.
then obviously we're entitled back to the
No,
amount that the
obviously
insurance
I
paid.
pay you because Rocket Mortgage, in 2 years in a row, Rocket Mortgage has paid my insurance. And they
Right,
paid me, and I sent that check to Rocket Mortgage.
right, right. So
Yeah. So I would never do something that's
same,
not mine.
correct, same thing.
Hey, and sorry, and another question. She's also explained to me that if you guys come do an inspection, right? And I explained to you the way I explained to you everything about the repairs. Because I was very honest. She said, let's say, God forbid, they find something other than what I told you about the septic tank being clogged. She said that you guys can decrease my payment, even
There's
though I
nowhere,
signed.
so Lillian, there is nowhere in the agreement that states that. I have no idea why she's putting ideas like this in your head. I already don't like this title company because there's nothing in the agreement that states this. We've gone through the whole agreement, and unless there's something major you didn't tell us, which you've been super upfront and straightforward about
No, I'm
everything.
not gonna. If there's gonna be an inspection, I'm not gonna lie to you and look stupid.
Mhm.
No, I had plenty of guys that came out to look at the septic tank because I need to use my toilet. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So I had people come out to try to resolve the problem because I needed to use my toilet.
Of
And they
course.
told me, your drain is clogged. All you need to do is get it pumped because the water from the storm went into the septic tank. I'm not a plumber. I don't work on houses, so I don't know. They could be wrong, but that's what I've been told.
Yeah,
I
listen.
haven't used the toilet in like probably 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's nasty, but I'm not lying. In 3 weeks, I've used the toilet.
I'm with you.
The water comes out the kitchen sink every time I use the dishwasher. Only the time that I use the dishwasher. You have the dishwasher running now, the water's gargling in the sink. Or it's not even coming out. It's gargling, but there's no water sitting there. Usually does. And then the toilet, when you flush it, it comes all the way up, and then it slowly, after 10 or 15 minutes, it goes down. But
That
if you flush
basically
it,
means
it
that
goes
you
up.
have the pipes are clogged. That's all it means.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's what I've been told.
So once
But
again,
the way she explained it to me is that, oh, if they go out and septic tank is broken, they're going to decrease your payment because even though you signed it. And I was
anytime
like, no,
anything
that's
is
too much
found,
because
so
I'm not accepting less.
Lillian, 1 second.
Uh-huh.
Anytime anything is found at the property that wasn't discussed or talked about, if there
Yeah.
is something like that, we have to come back to
Mhm.
you and have a discussion about it. We can't just automatically decrease anything. In order for us to do any kind of thing, any kind of change of the agreement that's already signed and in place, and all those numbers, because same way you put the initials under each page, we also put the initials
Mhm.
under each page. So in order for us to change anything within the agreement, we have to come back to you and get an approval and re-sign it. So if for whatever reason we come back and we say, hey, listen, here's the situation. We found
Mhm.
out that you have, I mean, I'm going to speak complete extremes, which are not going to apply to us, but God forbid we come in and we say, listen, we found termites and flesh-eating organisms inside your attic. Obviously, that's a different discussion, but I don't think we have to even go there because from everything I saw in the photos, from everything you told me, you've disclosed everything to me, and we've discussed
Mhm.
the septic, we've discussed the
The floor.
issues with the floor. We've discussed the fact that you put in the chain link fence in the front. We've discussed the fact that the condition of the property overall is really good. You
No.
live there right now.
And
I've
did I
also
tell you the
seen.
windows are old? Go.
You don't need to tell me because
See,
I
that's
see
why I
that on
don't
the
talk on the
photos.
phone with this kid. Yeah. Yeah, you can see the windows are old. Go.
Of course.
Okay, well, I apologize. I didn't mean to come on you in any bad way. I just wanted to make
No.
sure. Obviously, they want, I don't know why she's putting shit in my head. But yeah, that's what she told me, and I was like, I just got to make sure because in the long
Of
run,
course.
I don't have $50,000. In the long run, I don't want this house coming back. I don't want any problems with court or have to owe this house because I'm not going to be able to afford it. So I want to make sure that everything's good.
There's nothing like that. And the other thing is, once the sale is done, I mean, you're probably the only time you ever hear from us is if you need any kind of help or there is a payment that's made and you just get a notification of that payment. Outside of that, there's nothing you're liable or responsible for anymore after the property is sold. You have your money and you're totally on your way.
And you did clear what you wrote down on the thing about the closing costs. You guys take care of it.
Of course. And all of that is in the agreement too, Lillian. So I don't know
Yeah.
why.
No, I know. I looked at it. You explained it to me. Yeah, and I
Right.
don't know why she came up with that.
It's a
Oh, I'm
so
sorry.
I'll tell you one thing. That's why we work
Mhm.
with title companies that understand these types of transactions, because not every single title company
Yeah.
knows how to do a mortgage takeover transaction. It's not
Well,
a
listen.
traditional sale. Like you're not selling your house on the market to a retail buyer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
No, that's true. Every process is different. Go to the
right.
fucking bathroom. Go. Yeah, I suggest you go with your title
Sure,
because now I'm feeling funny.
sure. Sure, we will do that. That was the plan from the
Okay.
beginning anyway.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, like I said, I apologize. I just
No
want to clear
worries.
that up. I
And
don't know
and
why
I
she came up
apologize
with
on
that.
my end. I was actually, at the time you called me, I was actually on the phone with that title company. So that's
Yeah,
probably
she
why.
called me and told me that you should
Yes,
wait for your email.
right. But I don't
Well,
think,
just to,
if you
just to
don't mind,
start
if you don't mind, I
sorry?
would rather use my own title.
Well, go ahead. I
Okay,
don't mind.
okay.
If you've been with your title company and you trust them, go ahead.
Yes, yes. Because I don't like people putting
Okay.
worms in other people's heads without even like knowing like there's no way she read the whole contract in a few minutes and called you back and said, here's
Mhm.
this, it just doesn't make sense. We spent an hour on the phone
Yeah.
going through every clause. You know what I mean?
I know, that's what I told her. I said I was looking at it while he was explaining the whole thing to me, and I read it step by step. I said, I understand English. I understood it. He explained it to me. I said, it seemed legal to me. Everything was legit. And then she was like, send it to me so I can look over it. So I was like, okay, you can look over it, see if we're missing anything. And then she came up with those two things, and I was like, what? I said, I didn't see 50. I wouldn't have missed the $50,000 on there. I said, I didn't see none of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what she was putting that in my head.
We're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna use our own title. I will have Ariana
Okay.
will reach out. She's currently just setting up the file. Once the file is fully set up and sent to title, the actual title company that we work with, they will reach out to you and they will
Uh-huh.
also copy you on the email, and all communications going back and forth, you'll be CC'd on. Okay? That way you're notified of everything.
Sounds great. I thank you, and I
No,
apologize again.
no
Now I feel
worries.
stupid.
No, don't worry about it. That's why I'm here. I'll answer all the questions and I am available. I'm not going anywhere.
All right. Well, thank you again.